Liverpool's new-look attack featuring Isak, Wirtz and Salah might be the most feared frontline in Europe, but wait until you see their secret weapon. A defense conceding just 0.8 goals per game in preseason. This video breaks down how Arne Slot is building something special at Anfield, with tactical animations showing exactly why pundits are calling this squad the new Invincibles. You won't believe how these pieces fit together until you see it in action. Liverpool's £300 million spending spree this summer isn't just a club record, it's a statement that puts them in the same financial league as Manchester City and Chelsea. The signings of Alexander Isak, Florian Wirtz, Ugo Ekitike, and Jeremy Frimpong represent the kind of aggressive market move we haven't seen from Anfield in years, but history shows us that spending big doesn't always translate to success on the pitch. The financial commitment becomes even more striking when you consider how Liverpool structured these deals. By spreading payments across installments, they've managed to bring in 4 elite talents without immediate financial strain. This approach mirrors how top clubs operate today, but it still represents a significant departure from Liverpool's typically measured transfer strategy under FSG's ownership. Looking across Europe, the risks become clear. PSG have consistently outspent everyone, yet still struggle in crucial Champions League moments up until last season domination. Manchester United's post-Ferguson era, it's littered with expensive signings who failed to deliver. Angel Di Maria, Paul Pogba and Antony all arrived with big price tags and bigger expectations, only to leave questions about value for money. Even Chelsea's recent spending under Todd Boehly shows how quickly massive investments can become problematic without the right football structure. Premier League data suggests only about 60% of transfers valued over £50 million meet or exceed expectations in their first season. That means nearly half underperform relative to their fees. For Liverpool's gamble to pay off, they need most of their new signings to hit the ground running immediately. The pressure is particularly high on Isak and Wirtz, who arrive as established stars expected to transform Liverpool's attack. What makes this spending spree different from previous ones is Liverpool's recent financial prudence. Careful management in recent seasons allowed them to accumulate resources for this moment, but the question remains, can they avoid the traps that have ensnared other big spenders? Manchester City showed it's possible with their carefully planned additions under Guardiola. But even they needed time to integrate new pieces perfectly. The club's ability to integrate these signings quickly into Arne Slot's system will determine whether this becomes a masterstroke or a cautionary tale. Now, let's look at the players who could make or break this gamble. Isak, Wirtz and Frimpong weren't just bought for their price tags. Each brings specific qualities that could transform Liverpool's weaknesses into strengths. But, as we'll see, their past performances reveal both reasons for excitement and causes for concern. Alexander Isak arrives at Liverpool with 27 goals and 6 assists from his last season at Newcastle, making him one of the most complete strikers in Europe. His ability to create chances and finish under pressure gives Liverpool something they've lacked since Firmino's peak, a forward who can both lead the line and link play. At 6'4", he offers an aerial threat, but it's his movement in the box and clinical finishing that stand out. Last season, he converted 22% of his shots, a rate that puts him among the Premier League's most efficient scorers. Florian Wirtz, at just 22, already plays with the composure of a veteran. His 14 assists and 11 goals for Leverkusen last season shows why he's been compared to Messi in his ability to dictate tempo. What makes Wirtz special isn't just his creativity, it's how he manipulates space. He averages 2.3 key passes per game, but more importantly, he draws multiple defenders before releasing the ball, creating openings for teammates. His versatility means he could play as a number 10, false 9, or even wide in Slot's system. Jeremy Frimpong might be the most intriguing signing of all. With 14 goals and 12 assists last season, he ranks in the 99th percentile among fullbacks for goal contributions. His pace is explosive, but it's his timing that sets him apart, knowing exactly when to underlap Salah or overlap to stretch defenses. Defensively, he's improved significantly, averaging 2.1 tackles per game. though his positioning against top wingers remains a question mark. Ugo Ekitike provides depth with a different profile, a poacher who thrives on quick transitions. While not as polished as Isak, his movement in the box could be valuable against deep block teams. Last season, 78% of his goals came from inside the 6-yard box, showing his instinct for being in the right place. Tactically, these players fit what Liverpool needs. Isak gives them a focal point, Wirtz provides creativity between the lines, and Frimpong adds width without sacrificing defensive solidity. But their success hinges on integration. Salah will need to adjust to playing with a true striker again, while the midfield must learn to anticipate Wirtz's movement. The early signings, they are promising. In pre-season, Wirtz already showed an understanding with McAllister, while Frimpong's overlaps created space for Salah to cut inside. But pre-season is one thing, the Premier League is another. But even the best signings need the right system to thrive. Arne Slot's tactical blueprint at Liverpool marks a clear departure from Jurgen Klopp's approach. Where Klopp relied on chaotic transitions and relentless pressing, Slot emphasizes control and intelligent positioning. His system demands players who can read the game in real time, making quick decisions to manipulate space. The potential starting lineup reflects this shift. Alisson in goal, Van Dijk and Konate anchoring the defense, with Frimpong and Kerkez providing width and attacking threat from fullback. This setup aims to balance defensive solidity with fluid attacking play, but integrating new signings into such a structured system, it won't be easy. Slot's high-pressing style requires players to unlearn old habits and adapt to precise positional rotations. For Frimpong, this means balancing his natural attacking instincts with defensive responsibilities. Wirtz, meanwhile, must master the timing of his movements between the lines to exploit gaps in opposition defenses. The system's success hinges on these adjustments. Early pre-season glimpses, they show promise as mentioned earlier. One of Slot's key innovations is the versatile role of fullbacks. Frimpong and Kerkez won't just overlap, they'll underlap, invert, and even join midfield rotations. This flexibility is designed to overload opponents in different ways, but it requires near-perfect coordination. If one player misreads a trigger, the entire system can break down. The midfield trio of McAllister, Szoboszlai, and Gravenberch must also adapt, shifting from Klopp's direct verticality to Slot's emphasis on controlled build-up. Squad depth and injury management will be critical. Slot's system pushes players to their physical limits, increasing the risk of muscle injuries over a long season. Liverpool's ability to rotate without dropping intensity, it could define their campaign. Last season, Manchester City's depth allowed them to compete on multiple fronts. Liverpool must replicate that resilience. The addition of Ekitike provides a different attacking profile, but an injury to Wirtz or Salah could disrupt the system's rhythm. Florian Wirtz's role is pivotal. His ability to drift between lines and execute one-touch passes, it's central to unlocking defenses. In Slot's system, he'll act as the creative hub, dictating tempo and exploiting half spaces. But Premier League defenses are less forgiving than the Bundesliga's. Teams like Arsenal and City will test his ability to handle aggressive pressing. The tactical blueprint looks promising on paper, but the Premier League's competitiveness makes perfection unlikely. Even Pep Guardiola's City, with their meticulous planning, drop points against well-organized opponents. Slot's system could elevate Liverpool, but claiming they'll be unbeatable ignores the league's unpredictability. Speaking of competition, let's look at the rivals who could stand in Liverpool's way. The idea of Liverpool going unbeaten in the Premier League makes for exciting discussion, but history suggests it's far from likely. Arsenal's 2003-04 Invincibles remains the only team to achieve this feat in the modern era, and their accomplishment still stands as one of football's most difficult benchmarks. That squad combined defensive discipline with attacking flair, but more importantly, they had the mental resilience to grind out results when they weren't at their best. Even then, they drew 12 matches, proof that avoiding defeat requires more than just talent. Manchester City's recent dominance shows how hard it is to replicate that consistency. Despite having one of the strongest squads in Premier League history, Pep Guardiola's side have never gone unbeaten. In their record-breaking 100-point season, they still lost twice. Last season, even with Erling Haaland's goals and Rodri's midfield control, they dropped points in 7 matches. The Premier League's depth makes every game a challenge. Teams like Brentford, Brighton, and Aston Villa all took points off City last season. proof that no fixture is guaranteed. Liverpool's biggest rivals will also have something to say about an unbeaten campaign. Arsenal have strengthened with additions like Victor Gyökeres, Noni Madueke, and Rice, making them more resilient in big games. Chelsea's belief is very high after winning the Club World Cup final. The squad is hungry for more success, and Manchester City remain the gold standard, with a squad built to dominate possession and suffocate opponents. Last season, Liverpool lost twice to Arsenal and once to City, highlighting how tough these fixtures can be. The league's unpredictability extends beyond just the top teams. The physical demands of the Premier League, they ensure that no side can coast through a season. Mid-table clubs now play with more tactical sophistication, while newly promoted teams often adopt aggressive pressing styles to disrupt elite sides. VAR decisions, injuries, and even fixture congestion, they can all derail momentum at any moment. Last season, Liverpool dropped points against Luton and Crystal Palace, matches they were expected to win comfortably. Even Liverpool's strongest ever sides under Klopp never came close to an unbeaten season. Their title-winning 2019-20 campaign saw 3 defeats, including a shock loss to Watford. The current squad, despite its talent, will face similar challenges. Slot's high-pressing system, it increases the risk of fatigue and injuries over a long season, while integrating 4 new starters introduces unavoidable growing pains. Expecting this team to navigate 38 games without a single day off, it's unrealistic. Liverpool's signings make them serious contenders, but labeling them unbeatable, it ignores the reality of modern football. The gap between top sides and the rest, it's narrowed, and surprises happen every season. What matters more than an unbeaten run is consistent performances when it counts, something this squad is more than capable of achieving. So, what will it take for Liverpool to achieve back-to-back glory? Winning back-to-back Premier League titles requires more than just assembling talented players. Liverpool's pursuit of glory hinges on navigating 3 critical challenges: maintaining squad fitness, managing squad depth, and overcoming unpredictable variables like refereeing decisions. History shows even the best teams struggle to balance these factors across a 38-game season. The physical demands of Slot's system presents immediate concerns. Liverpool's high-pressing approach pushes players to their limits, increasing injury risks significantly. Last season, Manchester City lost Kevin De Bruyne for 4 months with a hamstring issue, while Arsenal's title challenge suffered when William Saliba's back injury disrupted their defensive stability. These examples highlight how quickly one key absence can derail momentum. For Liverpool, keeping Van Dijk, Salah, and new signing Wirtz available for 90% of matches becomes non-negotiable. The medical staff's workload will be as important as any coaching decision. Squad rotation presents another hurdle. Unlike cup competitions where teams can field full-strength lineups, the Premier League demands careful player management. Pep Guardiola mastered this at City by having 2 quality players for every position: Walker and Cancelo at fullback, Haaland and Alvarez up front. Liverpool's depth is improving, but remains untested. Beyond the starting 11, players like Harvey Elliott and Ryan Gravenberch must deliver when called upon, without disrupting the team's rhythm. The gap between first-team stars and backups can't be too wide. External factors add another layer of difficulty. VAR decisions have decided title races before. Remember Rodri's uncalled handball against Everton in City's 2022 run-in? One questionable penalty award or offside could cost Liverpool crucial points. Refereeing consistency remains unpredictable, forcing teams to win despite unfavourable decisions. The 2021-22 season saw City clinch the title by 1 point after Liverpool dropped points in 2 matches with controversial officiating. Success also depends on tactical flexibility. Opponents will study Liverpool's patterns, forcing Slot to adapt. The fixture itself creates obstacles. Between Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup, and potential Club World Cup commitments, Liverpool could play 60-plus matches. Fatigue accumulates, especially for players like McAllister and Szoboszlai, who will feature internationally too. Squad management becomes a puzzle, requiring Slot to prioritise competitions without demotivating players. So, is Liverpool spending a stroke of genius, or is it a gamble? Liverpool's £300 million overhaul, it's reshaped their squad, but becoming unbeatable remains unlikely in the Premier League era. The signing of Isak, Wirtz and Frimpong addresses key weaknesses, yet success depends on how quickly they adapt to Slot's system. History shows even elite teams drop points. City's dominance still included defeats, and Arsenal's Invincibles drew 12 games. Injuries, VAR decisions, and fixture congestion, it could all derail Liverpool's momentum, while rivals like City and Arsenal won't make it easy. The spending signals ambition, but football's unpredictability keeps perfection out of reach. Can this squad defy the odds?